Welcome to the Stronger Leader Podcast, home of the hashtag Stronger Movement, where we explore the fascinating tapestry of human experience. I'm your host, Tony Cardello. Each episode, we'll sit down with a remarkable guest to dive into their unique journeys, from successful business leaders to individuals who have faced the darkest of times and emerged stronger, even from some of the inspiring youth of this emerging generation. We'll also cover essential topics on marriage, leadership, as well as spiritual, physical, and mental health, all in hopes to provide you with the tools and motivation to navigate your own life's challenges. Whether you're here to learn, grow, or simply be inspired, there's something for everyone. So get comfy, settle in, and join us as we embark upon this journey together. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button as well. Turn on the notifications so you'll know whenever we drop new content. All right, let's get started. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Welcome to another episode of the Stronger Leader Podcast. It's your host, Tony Cardello. Got the live studio audience, D. Here with a very special guest and a close friend of mine, D. Allen. What's up, D?
What's going on?
All right. Man, it never is too hard to get these guests to come on the show, especially when I got the studio audience to get here, because when I got some cool people like you coming on, they line up at the door trying to get in the studio.
I hope so.
All right, D. Man, today's show is going to be a story. You know, I know D, and I'm going to let him tell his story, but just a story of redemption, man, and you know, growing up and, you know, less than favorable environments and not having the best cards dealt, and going on to be successful in a lot of endeavors, and mostly successful in his relationship with his new bride. And man, it's just so cool to be part of your life and to watch you grow in all areas. And I think that the listeners are going to love hearing from you, man. You're going to bring some inspiration, some hope to some people that are probably maybe going through some of the stuff that you went through. And yeah, man, hopefully you can leave them with some tips and some pointers of how you're able to pull yourself through some of this stuff. And it's life, man, just real, right? So that's it. Just want to be real. So why don't you just start off, man? Just tell us a little bit about yourself, like, you know, where you grew up, where you went to school. Tell us a little about your upbringing, so on and so forth, man.
I was born and raised in Kansas City, in the inner city. Went to Purcell High School, graduated from there. Went to different schools when I was in middle school, stuff like that, moved around. But primarily I grew up in the inner city of Kansas City. Mm-hmm. After that, after high school, trying to figure out what I'm going to do with my life. Just like, man, I thought I go to college, tried to go get a job. Originally, I went to go to work, working 2 jobs, trying to save up money and things like that, trying to provide for myself as a young adult, 19, 20 years old. Really don't know what you want to do in life. It's kind of trying to figure things out.
Yeah.
I got myself involved in trying to go to college, and went to a trade school a little bit. Like, that wasn't for me. And,
What trade was it?
It was computer technology.
Okay.
I was doing computer technology. I found out that it was a whole lot harder than it seemed. But did that for a while, and kind of just moved around and tried other things, and found a passion of mine.
Good. And
just started doing that from there.
Yeah, that's great. So throughout your childhood, did you mischief? Did you get any kind of trouble or anything like that? Growing up in the city, obviously there's a lot of opportunity for maybe getting into some of the wrong things and some of the wrong crowds. And did you ever partake in any of that as a kid?
Man, actually, I did not. Growing up in inner city, there's a lot of crime, a lot of things going on around you. You got friends that's doing these things, and but me personally, I was never peer pressured or doing things to get myself in trouble. So I stayed out of trouble. I did that, like any other kid, teenager, you hard headed, but
yeah,
for the most part, I stayed out of trouble.
Athletics? Did you play sports?
I played a little basketball, but it wasn't never nothing serious. Mm-hmm. But mainly I stayed out of trouble, and I wasn't peer pressured to do anything wrong that I know I shouldn't be doing. Mainly I was scared of my mom.
So tell us a little bit about that. What was your family dynamic? You say mom, so was dad not around?
Yeah, dad was around.
Okay.
Yeah, mom and dad was around. I grew up with both my parents. Not in the same household, but I grew up both of them at the same time. They were pretty strict, so I made sure to stay on my P's and Q's. a lot.
So there wasn't no if mom said no, you can go ask dad, and then dad said no, you can go ask mom. Wasn't none of that.
No, I wasn't none of that. Once mom said no, it was no. So
yeah, that's good. So, man, growing up in the city like that, and we've seen, obviously there's a lot of stereotype, but there's a lot of like you said, a lot of crime and everything going around you. Most of the time, what I've seen is that you get young guys your age that if they don't get wrapped up in that stuff, it's typically because there's another outlet like sports or something like that. And so I find it odd. Your pathway is different. Like you didn't. It wasn't like you got ate up with sports, and so you wanted to ride the straight and narrow so you could play sports. You just chose, in spite of your circumstances and what was going on around you. Tell us about that. Like that's a pretty unique characteristic, and I think that there's going to be some young brother in the hood watching this, man, that's feeling convicted to not do the wrong things, but maybe getting peer pressured. What were some of the things that you did to avoid that, or just to I know it sounds so stupid cliche, but just say no. How'd you muster up the strength to do that?
I think the biggest thing is having that mindset of making decisions of your own, being a leader. Like I said, that's cliche as well. Being a leader, not a follower, goes a long way, and I always stood by that.
Now, were you taught that at a young age? Did your parents instill that leadership values in you at an early age? What about like church? Were you churched at all growing up? What was that like?
Yeah, at a young age, my mom and dad always told me, be a leader, not a follower. Be a leader, be a leader. That was always instilled in me. So that's one of my principles I always kind of held on to growing up. As a kid, maybe about 12, 13 years old, started going to church a lot. My grandma and stuff like that, my dad and stuff like that. So I was always going to church and stuff like that. But, as a kid, you're just going because you're getting forced to. It's not really an actual, like a choice. It's very rare that a 12-year-old, 13-year-old is doing it by choice.
Right.
But, it was good for me, but I was going because I had to, not because I wanted to. So
right.
That's a big difference when you're younger like that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Do you feel like at any point when you were younger, like did you feel a Holy Spirit conviction? Did you feel, was there a period of your life where the church values were super strong and prevalent, or did that not happen until, because I know your later in life story, but did you experience any of that at a younger age? Were you like, did you start to really get into church at all at a younger age?
Yeah, at a younger age, I got baptized when I was 13 years old. So at that time, there was some type of conviction that I wanted to get baptized, and it was something I felt like it was right to do.
Right.
I didn't do a whole bunch of Bible reading on my own. We had Bible study we went to and stuff like that.
Did you go to Sunday school?
Sunday school and stuff like that. But, a lot of it was, you're hearing the words, but it's really hard to apply to your life at 12, 13 years old. You know right from wrong, and you learn that part of it, but like actually really get into the Bible. At that age, you're there, that it's the right thing to do to go to church and be present with the Lord. But as far as like actually reading the Bible and actually understanding it to a capacity where you would at this age is totally different from there.
Yeah, right. Do you have some of your closest homeboys that went the other direction? I mean, do you have anybody that you grew up that you were really close with that started kind of veering down the wrong roads?
Yeah, I had friends that didn't go to church. I had friends that was in the streets at 12 and 13 years old. They were already doing things they probably should have been doing at that time. I just never got around to even doing those type of things. I was like, nope, not gonna be me.
Right.
So,
did you ever experience like any death at an early age? Any of your close friends getting killed or anything like that in the city?
Actually, I did not. No, none of my friends were dying like it is now today. Today's age, you got a lot of 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds, and 14-year-olds are dying a whole lot younger than the older generation that we have. So I was fortunate enough not to have any friends of mine pass away or get killed due to crime or wrongdoing.
Yeah. So as as you got older and started, kind of getting out in the workforce, you had a couple jobs. I know you've done some security details and things like that. What, at what point did you start on the girl chase? Like when did you start really taking interest in girls? At a young age, did you, were you having sex early? What was that development like for you?
I think I was probably between 16 and 17 years old when I started talking to girls and dating, stuff like that.
You're a relatively shy guy. You kind of stay to yourself. You always been that way. You always been kind of a little bit introverted, and once you open up, you open up.
Yeah.
But typically, yeah. So all right. So then at 16, 17, you start taking interest in girls like on a different level. What's that look like for you?
Talking to finding a girl attractive, talking to other girl, going out on dates, making a girl my girlfriend. Those little puppy love stages that we all go through.
Yeah.
Doing those things like that. And then you as you get older, you start getting into a little more of a serious relationship. But at that time, 16, 17 years old, you're still in high school there. So those things, everything is new. Everything's going fast for you.
Oh yeah. So as back up real quick, in your childhood, did you experience any drama at all? Anything that you had, any darkness that you had to work through that maybe, a grandparent, so obviously did your parents, did they separate at an early age? How old were they?
Yeah.
Or how old were you when they separated?
Honestly, man, I could have been maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I was only told that by my parents. Yeah.
So then you never really had to experience much of the drama.
Nope.
You were probably kept isolated.
I never had that type of trauma I had to work through, because by the time I realized that
it was just normal.
It was normal for me. Yeah.
That's somewhat how I was. I was 5 when it happened, and I remember a little bit of it. A couple isolated incidences where some stuff got rowdy. But for the most part, that's all I ever really knew. So, question for you: as a as a husband now and a father, and looking back, do you think that, because you turned out good, man, you're a good dude and you turned out well, but you had some periods of your life in there where you had to kind of get right, for lack of better terms, right? What do you think that not growing up with dad, or did you who did you live more with? You probably lived more with your mom, right?
Yeah, primarily my mom. Yeah.
Same here. So do you think that, and you and your dad still have a pretty good relationship, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So same here, right? And so I've never really looked back and looked at had any resentment for the stuff that I went through for my dad. Psychologically, I know that it's important for a man to be in the house to raise a boy full time, right?
Yes.
It's not a woman's job to raise a boy.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right?
Right about that.
It's a man's job. So, looking back on that, do you feel now, does that add to your passion to raise your boys because the need of a father? In the house.
The need of just being present, day in, day out, and showing up for your kids, man, is huge. And I think that both parents in the house are, of course, the best route to go.
Sure.
Sometimes I always don't. Not always like that, and you kind of dealt the cards you're given, and you kind of roll with those punches. But I do believe that having both parents in the household is going to be the best outcome for that child.
Yeah. So you have you got 2 boys. Kylan, right?
Thailand.
T.
Yep.
T. I don't know why I've always thought. I'm hard of hearing.
Yeah.
I was close. Had the right sound. So Tylen, he's 12?
14 now.
Gosh, man, where the hell is the time going?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's 14, and he lives with you full time, right?
Yep.
For the most part.
Yeah.
And so, what's that been like? Raising, because you've been. I don't even know what's the involvement that his mom has in his life. How involved is she?
Oh, she's present.
Okay.
Okay.
But you guys both just agreed that it's better for a boy to be raised by a man.
Oh yeah,
that's great, man.
Yeah.
That's that's hats off to you guys for that, because usually the woman in those relationships, when they're scorned, they want to keep the kid from you and all that, and kudos to you guys. I know he's a good boy, and
he is.
It's probably a big part of it, know. So that's cool. Okay, so then you met Bree, who I know.
Yeah.
So how'd you meet? You and Bree meet?
And we met. Let's say 2018. We were out partying, and we ran into each other and like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And one thing led to another.
One led to another.
Couple good-looking people attracted to each other.
Yep. And here we go. Oh, yeah.
Okay. And then, so that was 2019, you said?
2018.
Okay. And then you guys were together for a while. And then Big Trouble in Little China. We had some issues.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We had some issues. Talk about that a little bit. What what do you think? What do you think led to that? And we'll talk obviously how you worked through it, but what do you think led to that?
I think the biggest thing, us for myself, I feel like us as people, we tend to do what we want and do how we feel, and sometimes those do what we want feelings are not the right feeling. We all want to be accepted, or we all want this when we want it right now. And I think the biggest thing is having that mindset of self-discipline. The biggest thing, making right choices, even when you don't want to. Being a good person, in and out, even when no one's watching.
Yeah.
So what's like the biggest thing I can take from like my experience. Being a good person when no one's watching, having a mindset to have self-discipline, and also having the mindset of actually, like, if you say you love someone, you have to show it. You can't just be told. And if you love someone, you're not gonna hurt them.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's right. That's big.
but honesty, being trustworthy, and just showing up for that person every day.
Right. So, what's without airing out your whole laundry, and I know all of it, but you guys went through some dark places there, and I think that in every situation, no matter what, there's two people that are involved, in relationship, and one can be the offender, but if both people find an ability to take some level of responsibility in the offense, and it's not all the blame game, I think that's a big part of it. Do you think that Bree being able to self-reflect and maybe look at herself in the mirror, maybe see what her shortcomings were that maybe caused some of these issues, was that a big part of you wanting to do better and be better for her, because she wasn't putting it all on you, and she was trying to help you absorb as much of that as possible, I guess, for lack of better terms. And do you think that played a big part in you wanting to reconcile and do the right thing?
Yes, absolutely. Because I feel like at some point when you're going down a path of just doing wrong things, at some point you have to self-reflect. You have to step back and do an audit on your own life and look in the mirror and tell yourself that I'm not being a good person. I do need to change. I do need to be better. You have to admit those things to yourself before you get better. We like to hide in secrecy of things that we're ashamed of, and we never come forward until it comes out.
Right.
But we know, like, anything that's in the dark will always come to the light.
Always
come to the light. And being truthful and being upfront and just honest with yourself. You don't do it for nobody else. Do it for yourself.
That's right.
And that's probably the biggest thing I took from, like I said, my journey of just getting on the right path, pursuing God, keeping Him first, and not allowing the devil and the world of temptations get you, because it's easy.
Yeah.
It's work. It's hard work every single day.
Every day, right?
And but you have to do an audit on yourself. You have to take a step back and do that audit, because if you don't, you're living in it. You don't see it.
Right.
So you rationalize on wrongdoing. That's what I did a ton. Rationalizing wrongdoing over and over again, because I thought that was right in my head. I made it right in my head, but
Sure.
I know doing something that's wrong, but you make it right in your head to rationalize it and make it okay for you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's definitely the tough part. Well, being on the outside looking in to these relationship situations sometimes, and getting to know both parties and both sides and understand. I say it all the time, that men are first called to task to care for the woman, and it says in the Bible we got to lay our lives down for our wives, right? Like Christ, we got to love our wife like Christ loved the church, right?
Yep.
And that's and I think that's been the biggest part of what I've seen in your change is, like if I would have asked you any time in all them years, do you love Bree, you would have emphatically said yes. But if I would have asked you how you're proving it or showing it to her, that would have been like, well,
yeah.
And I think that's the biggest part of her acceptance of your change. You didn't just say it this time, you've shown her. And then the other part of this that you all have to understand, people that are listening to this, Bree's role in this is huge. Her ability to forgive. I also have experience in this realm with my wife. It's the same thing, and luckily that Bree and Dominique work together, and they're best friends, and so she got to impart some of that wisdom of what we went through, and Bree took it to heart. But the biggest piece of it was she forgave you.
Yep.
She forgave you, and was willing to set that forgiveness at the cross and move forward, and that I sit on the outside just chewing my nails and looking at people that go through these relationship struggles, and it's almost always, the husband is super remorseful, and it's like a little too late, and she's too far gone and just can't see the forest through the trees. And I forgive him, I love him, but I just, I'm never gonna, I'm never gonna trust him again. I'm never, imparting that those vices in your head. There's a saying: if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Right.
Oh yeah.
And if you think you can't forgive them, then you're never going to. But that was Bree just chose to block out the noise. I'm sure there was plenty of people like, oh man, screw him. You don't need to move on. And she chose to fight for you guys, and you fought for her, which the success has been just unreal.
Right.
And the thing about it is, I remember sitting with you and having a conversation with you at lunch, and man, I was like, hey. Because I know Bree's a tough cookie. Yeah. And I was like, bro, you're going to have to sit in your shit for a hot minute. You know what I mean? It's going to be a while, right?
Yep.
And dude, it wasn't a while at all.
Nah, it wasn't.
Like the minute you started showing some action, it's like that, it flipped, you know what I mean? And then you guys were just riding off into the sunset. But the best part about this that everyone needs to know what you said is it's every day. It don't just, you fix it, she ain't mad at you no more, whatever, move on.
And now back to doing what I was
back to doing, because that's what happens, right?
Oh, yeah.
We slide back. So talk about those daily struggles, man. Listen, I'm a dude. I go to the gym. Hot chicks go to the gym. They're wearing the yoga pants. I was like, oh my gosh, we can't do nothing about it.
Nope.
You just got to turn your head. So talk about that, man. It's the struggle's real.
Yeah. So I would say the one thing that really stands out is the temptation throughout there all day, every day. Whether you're at work, you're at the gym, you're at Walmart, you're at Target, it's just always there. And without having God close and constantly pursuing God, you're gonna fail. And we're all sinners. We're gonna fail no matter what. Mm-hmm. But just having God present to give you that strength, because without God, we can't. It's too hard for us to control on our own. Yeah. Without the Lord, and so the devil is always on the prowl. He's always on the prowl, man, and he's just as real as God is, and you have to know that he's around, and you have to know that he's willing to do anything he can to keep you away from our Lord,
and he will.
So I think staying in church, staying in your Bible. Not only that, reading your sermon.
What's your daily look like? What's your daily devotional? Like how are you being with God daily?
When I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is read my devotional. I read my devotional, read my prayer of the day. Throughout the day, I'm tapping in my Bible app, finding the scriptures and reading the scriptures and stuff like that, or making a devotional plan or reading that, keeping me accountable. Yeah. Biggest thing for me is staying accountable and staying in the Word. Then, like I said, Sundays we go to church, stuff like that. Sometimes Sundays is not enough, and you have to be in your Bible throughout the week, because Sunday doesn't just cut it. Just okay, I'm gonna go to church Sunday and I'm good to go for the no. You have to have that Word with you all day, every day. You gotta have that armor with you all day, every day.
Yeah, it's spiritual conditioning, right? We talk about it all the time, and you and I know, because we're gym rats. So you don't go to the gym once a week and and expect to look like
I'm in shape now. Yeah, I went once a week. No, that ain't how it works.
You ain't gonna be in spiritual shape if you go once a week. It's the same level of conditioning, right? Yep. And I would venture to say even more important than how we look. Yep. Having that spirit, healthy spirit is so important.
And keeping God first, for sure. It's very easy to idolize other things and materialistic things and the possessions we have on this earth, and
because we want to feel good.
We want to feel good, and so we get away from what's important to us, and we start going off what like you said, what feels good, and we care about what we wear, and care about our bodies more than we care about Jesus, and we care about how much money we're making, and the money becomes a thing, and now you're idolizing money, or you're idolizing a big house, or you're idolizing the cars, social media. So all these things play a part, and you have to like block all those noises out, and allow God to come in. So once you do that, you'll hear His voice. He'll talk to you.
So what? Since you've started on this journey, now you and, if I remember right, you and Bree got baptized together.
Yep, back in April.
Back in April
this year.
So that's huge, right? That's another like proclamation publicly, a declaration publicly. Not only that I could get emotional about this because it's special. Not only did you guys work through it and forgive each other, you chose to do it with Christ at the center of it, and it's like you told the world all in one swoop, it's us and
Yep.
Jesus, and like that's freaking awesome, man.
Yeah.
And I can, looking back on it, hindsight's 20/20, right?
Oh yeah.
You initially were extremely sorry for all the things that had transpired. I could tell, I knew it. And I started imparting the Jesus talk on you, and I think you kind of already knew it was something that you needed.
Yep.
But it really wasn't until you dove in, like all in, to loving Jesus, did your relationship with Bree like really start that total healing process.
Most definitely.
Yeah, and so what's that? Share with people that initial piece, because I know there's going to be people that watch this that are that grew up going to church, know God, maybe just never really taught the depth of the relationship and how much we, like now, how much we need Him in our day-to-day life.
Yeah.
We aren't really taught that until you really have to experience that. So, at that moment when all hell's broke loose, basically, for your relationship, you're about to lose your family. We got to fix this. Do you have a little bit of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Shame. Shame's probably not the word, but like, God, I know I ain't been doing the right things. I know I ain't really had you in my life, but I kind of need you now. What's that initial conversation with God look like?
Oh yeah,
You almost feel unworthy.
Yeah.
Like, man, I know I ain't been doing right. Now I'm going to call on you because stuff ain't right. And, what's that conversation look
so
like?
in the very beginning, when you're doing wrong, any person that feels bad about it, they're gonna have some shame to come with it.
Mm-hmm.
You have a ton of shame, ton of regret, ton of not feeling worthy. So all those things are going in your head, and a lot of times, if you get caught up in the I'll never get better. I can't be better. This is how I am.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I am.
Yeah.
This is why I am, because you've been this way so long. I can't change. If you tell yourself that, like you said, you're not going to change.
Right.
Biggest thing is you have to give it all to the Lord and trust that He's going to see you through the whole process. And like I said, shame came with it, but once I was able to admit the person who I was, the person I wanted to become, and once I was able to admit that in my faith and say, okay, this is who I am, this is who I don't want to be anymore. But now, as I go further in my faith, this thing is going to change. It's going to be who I was, and I wanted to make sure that was a past tense thing, and I want to be better not for just me, but for my family as well. Mm-hmm. And the biggest thing is for me, I had to sit back and just take accountability for everything. Take accountability for all my part. Don't shame nobody. Don't blame anybody else. It's all about what I did. I'm responsible for my own conduct. It's not about what somebody else did. Cause can't nobody make you do anything wrong that you don't want to do. Mm-hmm. But you have to take accountability. Accountability is the biggest thing I took from this whole thing. Having accountability and just self-reflecting on everything, and understanding that without God, you're gonna run into some walls that you're not going to get away from.
Do you feel like, do you remember the first conversation you had with God? Like when all this hell broke loose and you were like, all right, man, I need you. Do you remember?
Man, I had so many conversations with God during that time. Man, I don't remember like
they're
one
all kind of running together.
They're all kind of running together. It was running.
Yeah.
So, man, I couldn't narrow it down because I was talking to Him so much during the time.
Do you, did you ever really like, Do you ever remember hearing God's voice in any, like, you ever really remember a strong conviction? Like, my story was in that hotel room. I actually heard the audible voice of God tell me to go home. Was there ever a moment, like an encounter like that, to where you felt?
Yeah. It was times where, like right in the very beginning, just watching sermons, I could hear God talking to me. Like, tell me everything I need to do. This you need to do. I'm laying it all out for you. Follow these steps, and you'll be okay.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. I felt like a burden was lifted off of me. I felt free. And the Bible talks about being free and giving it to God.
Truth shall set you free.
And the Bible talks about us giving God your burdens and taking His yoke and finding rest in Him. And once I did that, I found rest in Him. Yeah, for sure. The peace was different. You wouldn't hide anything anymore. You're not hiding any secrets.
I know
nothing. It's easy to go home and just live free. And it was a feeling that I haven't felt in a long time. But God gives you peace. He gives you rest, and that's what I was needing.
Yeah, I listen. I remember emphatically when I turned my life over and started living that transparent life, and like once the girl contacted Dominique, said, "Hey, your husband's on a dating site. He's trying to hook up with me," and when she approached me for that, man, the weight of the world was lifted off me, because I was like, finally, the cat's out. I was tired, man. I was exhausted from living that double life and living in that lie. She kicked me out of the house, and the repair didn't start then. But I knew there was a piece in me for a minute of just not having to hide anymore. Like that, man, that double life, I couldn't imagine doing it now. I'm too busy. I'm too busy messing with all that, right? I got enough life to keep straight, just naturally, by being honest. I couldn't imagine if I layered in a double secondary lie. You know what I mean? That's man, there's just no way. And I think that's probably been a big part of the performance of my life. I've been able to be successful in business and everything because I don't have anything weighing me down no more. Nope. It's just all truth, right?
No shame,
no
lies, no secrets.
It's huge. Yeah. So let's talk about, I think it's super important that people need to understand, and through your lenses as the man, man, you didn't just go to Bree and say, all right, hey, look, man, I'm turning my life over to Christ. I'm not doing the things I did no more. We're going to be good. She didn't just say, okay, we're good. There was some, you had to go through some stuff, right? Yeah. And it's pride swallowing, right?
Oh yeah.
So talk about that. What's that look like in the early phases?
It looks like, man, you taking your pride, taking your ego and removing it. You're going to have to, because if you don't, that's going to always get in your way. It's easy for us to get in our own way.
There probably was no affection for a minute.
No,
right?
no affection. None of that. No affection. And you try to do doing like nice gestures, but that doesn't matter because you've hurt someone, and no one really cares about that. Mm-hmm. They want to see more than just that. You could do that and go back to what you was doing right after the week after. It's that long term, but more importantly is once somebody see it, you have to see it, have to be through you. You have to see it in your heart. Like, it can't be words, but when you know, you know. And I think she got to a point where the way I was talking different and I was acting different, and she was like, he's changed.
That's a great point. And I was just thinking as you were talking, that is probably the acceleration. So the other side of this that people need to understand, the Bree's ability to succeed on this other side is that she did have a relationship with Jesus. So she understood and had the foundation of what forgiveness looked like. And she also had the spirit of discernment to really understand what was real and what was not. Mm-hmm. And so, man, you can say what you want to say, do what you want to do, act like you want to do. But if your heart isn't changed, people that know have that spiritual discernment, like if your spirit isn't changed, they're going to be able to see. And that's why Bree was so like, she knew. Yep. She knew it was your heart that changed, your whole spirit changed. And that's that was the whole next level for you guys, right? Oh, yeah. And that's where it really took off. So what were some of the things that like early on, what were some of the pride swallowing things that you had to do? And do you ever remember, like, man, how long is this going to go on? Do you ever
I had days where I was like, we don't know what to do.
Yeah.
You kind of start running out of ideas.
Trying to hold hands, trying
Yeah.
to kiss. You ain't getting
Yeah.
no play.
Yeah, you run out of ideas, man, because the first thing we try to do is like do nice things and
Yeah,
try to
right.
do nice gestures, and sometimes those ain't good enough. And you run out of ideas for sure, and you just kind of be patient. Yeah, it's like a waiting game, and you have to just be patient and continue to do better for you. You got to tell yourself that if this doesn't work out, I have to do better for me.
So huge that you said that, man. I've been mentoring a lot of guys, obviously, because of what I've been through. And that's the biggest thing I tell, especially people that have, if there's a drug addiction or porn or just, whatever, if there's a character trait that just isn't good, no matter what, it's not biblical. I tell everybody, man, listen, I think that if you get this part right, your girl will take you back and you guys can work through this. If she can forgive you, that's going to be on her. But I also know if she don't, which is a possibility, you still have to change. You still got to. You got to agree. You got to look yourself in the mirror and say, "This ain't the man I want to be." Yep. And I think that's the biggest piece, because a lot of guys just want to change as much as they need to. Well, they want to change as much to get back in the house. You know? I'm gonna do as much as I got to do to get back in.
Then I'm done.
And then I'm done, right? Yep. And then once everything's cool for a while, I'll probably go back to my old ways.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And those are the repeated cycles that people have. Personally, I had it until I was ready for that major change.
Yeah.
That was the biggest part of it.
Yeah.
I think it's important that I got to get the girls both on here. Dominique she hates talking on camera, but if I have them both on here to share their side of the story, I think it'll be super impactful.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So tell me about raising boys, man. What now that you are into your spirituality and Jesus and everything, and Tylen being older. And now you really introducing this into his life, as devout as you are. How's that transition looked?
It hasn't been as hard as I thought it was going to be. He's been very receptive to it already. We go to church every Sunday, and he loves doing that. He also goes to church on Wednesdays now.
Oh yeah,
he enjoys doing that. And we talk about the Bible and the scriptures and stuff like that, and we're implementing them. Mom every day that you keep God first. Make sure you're saying your prayers. Make sure you're doing those little small things you don't think about, and you thank God for these small things, your extremities. Woke up and you can breathe, you can see, you can hear, you can walk. All those things, and the things that I buy him, I want him to know that these things came from me, but it's all because of God, because you got them. And letting him know that he's your God, and nothing on this earth is your master besides him. So keeping him on the right path, and let's say he's been very receptive to it. He enjoys it, and of course, Cruzy, he loves it as well. So it's been great.
They got. I'll have to send it to you if you don't have it. They got the YouVersion Bible app that we use. They've got a children's version of that.
Oh, really?
With cartoons, and I used to do it with Tony when he was little. And there's little activities afterwards where they can like push buttons and you go through like whatever. I'll send it to you. It's pretty good. So how has Cruz been with? How do you engage with him and with Bible and stuff like that? What do you guys do?
We do a lot of gospel.
Okay.
Singing now, so a lot of it. So he knows a ton of gospel songs, and we go and we recite them together. And we jump up and down and dance together.
I love it.
So we do a lot of praising just by just singing gospel music.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So we most definitely connected on that level of like getting him in the swing of like church, and he knows the songs. He knows who Jesus is. So
yeah. Well, man, dude, like your story is amazing, and what you do every day to stay redeemed. I think that was a big part of what you said. It's an everyday thing, man. You just can't forget where you came from, right?
Nope.
Get up every day, lace up your armor, and go at it again. The devil. I always joke the devil is not going to come at you with horns and a pitchfork and flames. He's going to come at you looking good.
Yep, he gets you with what you like. If you like like alcohol, he's going to put a bottle in front of you. You like doing drugs, he can put drugs in front of you. Like women, he can put women in front of you. Yeah. If you love possessions and materialistic stuff, he'll put that in front of you. Yeah. So, I mean, no matter what it is, he's gonna.
How do you find yourself? How do you find yourself resisting temptation? Like, what do you do? What are some of the like practical exercises that you do?
I mean, you know what?
Like if you see a fine chick, like really, really hot, maybe even a chick says hi to you or something, shows you some attention. What do you do to resist that?
Honestly, for me, man, I just changing your thought process. And you know, something that can be hard, easy said and done. I mean, you can say that, but changing your thought process and have really praying to God that He give you a different like mindset when it comes to stuff like that. Because like you said, if you're out at the gym or something like that, somebody walk past you, and your brain recognizes a person whether they're cute or not. So it's just like it's almost like seeing a car drive past down the street. Oh, that's a nice car. The brain says that to you before you even think about it. The car's nice. Even if you don't say it, you say it in your head. So I think the biggest thing is acknowledging okay, the person was cute or that. I think acknowledging that part and then leaving it at that. This is the hardest part you got to do. You have to leave it at that. Acknowledge that in your head, but any thought after that is when it comes to the sin. If you're thinking about sexual or things that you probably think about, then that's when that changes the dynamic of it. But I feel like acknowledging that that person's cute or something like that, something small like that, but anything past that, when you're thinking of like sexual things, I think that becomes a sin. And I try my best to even have God there, so when those type of things arises, I don't have that type of mindset to even think that way. But that, I mean, like I said, that's also hard too. You know, it's also a daily thing. It's not one prayer you're gonna pray and then that zaps out of your mind and that's it.
Right.
But really, man, honestly, man, just constantly having a ground and staying planted. Got to stay planted in the word. You got to stay planted in the word, and you got to stay planted in what you know is right. And that's the biggest thing. Don't feed the flesh, because your flesh wants something totally different than what you should be doing. So,
yeah,
yep.
Yeah, no joke. What about your? How about your parents, man? Ever since this change in your life and who you've become now, what's your mom's got to be ecstatic, right?
Yeah, my mom, she's been loving it. She's been soaking it all in. She's excited.
What's her spiritual life like?
She believes in Jesus as well.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So she's always believed in Jesus all my life. Very good woman. Very good woman.
Yeah.
Don't do no wrong, man. I can't say one bad thing that she's ever done that I can remember growing up. My dad as well. Very good man, and he's also always believed in Jesus. Grew up going to church as well with him as well, and I feel like that seeing my journey, my change, has made them proud parents.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. Well, brother, I'm a proud friend. That's for dang sure. I've seen what you guys went through, and I get to witness it every day. Couples don't make it, man. Yeah. They don't make it through what you guys made it through, and I'm not gonna say it's easy, because it's not.
Yeah.
But it ain't hard either, man. It's just a choice, right?
It's
just a choice. You just choose. You know, you're either gonna make it work or you're not, and if you are, then it will.
Yep.
But that Jesus part of it, that's the secret sauce.
That's the NRB right there, man. Yep.
Well, man, this is a part of the show where, like, I always like to let I think I may even sent you the video early on, that Lecrae video. Did I sent you that one, right? So my the doctor that I see, he tells me that what was really cool about the podcast that I was doing is that these shows will perpetuate for who knows how long, for years probably after we're dead. They'll still be saved on YouTube somewhere, right? Yep. And so there's some young man watching this show right now in 2055, 2060, and we're dead. We're already in heaven, but there's some young man watching this, going through what you went through. Impart some wisdom on him. Leave a legacy here and impart some wisdom for years to come. What would you tell people? To help get through the things that you went through, so they don't give up, so they can have a good relationship. What's the biggest piece of advice you could give them?
I would say the biggest piece that I can leave with someone is don't wait until something bad happened to you until you go searching for God, pursuing Him. I think that's the biggest thing. And don't allow the world to tell you that just because I'm in my 20s, it's time to party, get drunk, be wild, and have a ton of sex. Don't let the world tells us that your 20s, that's your time to be pursuing God and finding God, because if you do that, I guarantee your life will be totally different. You want the choice you make and the things you go through, you won't go through without having Christ there. And I think that's the biggest thing, because where the world tells us when you're in 20s, have fun, party, have this, have that, all these things that the Bible doesn't tell us to do. And if you take your time and start pursuing God as early as possible, at an early age, and you pursue God early before you get to making wrong decisions, bad decisions, I feel like that you'd be a whole lot better off in life.
That's a word right there. That's good stuff. D, man, I appreciate you, brother. Man, I love you dearly. You and Bree are, you're like little brothers and sisters to us, and we're so close. I'm glad we get to do life together, and look forward to many, many years raising kids together and just living life, man. So I appreciate you being a man and owning it, standing up. I think that sometimes our kids, like I think that Tylen at his age, getting to witness all of this and see all this firsthand, it's gonna. I don't recommend anybody like going through any drama. If you're married, just stay married and do the right thing. Like that's the way you should do it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But and a lot of people are like, oh, the kids. Yes, the kids. Yes, you're talking about generations, right? We stay together for the kids. Well, stay together for yourselves first of all. Mm-hmm. But stay together for the kids too. I mean, I think you should stay together for all of it, right?
All of it matters for sure.
All of it matters, and then like, oh man, I don't want the kids to see us fighting. It's okay, man. Yeah. Let them see you fight. But the part that messes kids up that people don't understand is when they see you fight, they see all the drama, and then they see you break up. That's the part that's the long lasting effects. It isn't the fighting. Yeah. Because if you fight, you shouldn't fight dirty, and you definitely shouldn't be physical, whatever. But if you're all arguing and you're just miserable and unhappy together, figure out a way to get happy. Yep. You know what I mean? But it's okay that your kids see you fight. Your kids got to see you stay together. Yep. That's the piece that matters.
Yeah, that's why they remember for sure.
Yeah, right. And because listen, you're not only setting them up for relationship success, you're setting them up for success in life, knowing that you can't quit. When you commit to something, whether it's a job, a girlfriend, a friendship, when you commit thick and thin, good or bad, and you stick in that. And so for Tylen at his age to be able to witness you guys doing that, I think it's gonna set him up for success as a man. He's gonna see, my dad stuck it out. You know what I mean? Yeah. So thank you for modeling what real men look like, man. Oh yeah, we ain't perfect. No, a real man doesn't say a real perfect man. Just says real man. Yep. Right? Oh yeah, we ain't perfect at all. So, well, that's going to conclude the episode here. Let me do my little outro here. I don't even know what number this is. It's another episode of the Stronger Leader Podcast. D, my man, thank you for coming on, spreading some wisdom. It's been great, dude. So proud of you. I'm looking forward to watching what God has in store for the rest of your life. I know you got some business ventures coming up, some things happening in your world, so all good. Listen, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, hit that bell so you get all the notifications when the new content drops, and don't forget, be good, be blessed, and be stronger. Peace.